Welcome back to TigerComp. This is looking at Word A. You've finished your first test, and so we're going to use just a couple of quick lessons as we kind of end up our first season looking at Word, and just take a quick look at some of the other really important options to know and understand in Microsoft Word before moving on to other programs and learning different things. And so today we want to look at what's known as a header and a footer. And so when it comes to headers and footers, some of this is a little bit of review because I'm using these in writing class, but let's make sure that you understand how to use these properly and all the different options there. So there's really two ways to access the header. I could just go up to kind of this gray space and I can double click and instantly my header comes up and I can start to play around with the menu that goes with the header. And then to get out of it, I just double click outside of it. All right. The other thing to do is go to Insert, and then in the Insert you have the header and footer menu. And so let's start there by adding a header. Now once you click down on the menu, you're going to see there's lots of different options here for headers, and they get fancier and fancier every time a new version of Office comes out. Lots of different formatting, but for today we're going to use the blank 3-column header. And this is a very good one because it really provides you with 3 places to put information that you're going to use on a regular basis. So once again, we're back into this header view, and you can see we have 3 different sections where you can type some information. All right, so I'm going to start here on the left, and I'm going to type in my name, and you can go ahead and type your name in. Now, by just pressing Tab, you actually go to something that comes much later in the tutorials. It's called a center tab, and you get to this section where it's typing here, and so we're just going to go ahead and call this Word A because that's the title of our lesson here. The other thing you could have done is just clicked right there and you would have been there, so I can just click over here and I'm going to go ahead and type the date in here, which happens to be October, I gotta spell that correctly, 26 is when I'm making this. And so very neat, very easily done. It's spaced well, it looks nice, and any teacher or professor or anybody that has a project that requires you to do this, it's going to give you a really nice looking format to go into this. Now, when it comes to headers and footers, you can see there are a bunch of options up here, which become really important when it comes to creating much larger documents. Different things you might need to do a different first page, like if you need a title page and you want a picture, or just your title and your name is going to appear somewhere in the body down in this section, and you don't really need your name up here like that. In a lot of the professional work that I do as a teacher, you don't want a header on the first page, you only want it on the second page, and from that point on. Right? Same with different odd and even pages can also be an option. And of course you can go in here and change the margins. You can do a couple other things. You can add pictures. Here's ways to add date and time without actually typing it. I could have just, if I just select this stuff right here, I could have just gone over here and chosen how I wanted it to look, and that really makes it a little bit easier, and lots of different format options for you there. I'm just going to cancel it because I typed that in already. But we have all those different options to do that. Now, to close out of the header, you can just go to your big red X and click X, or you can double click on the main part. I'm going to use the red X here. All right, now to get to the footer, it's the same thing. I can come down here and click. I could go to Insert and go to Footer and choose all the different options that are there. And this time, though, I'm actually going to kind of skip this one, and I'm going to go right to page number, because that's usually what appears at the bottom of a page number. So if I go to page numbers, you can choose where your page number is going to be, right? It basically looks like a header or a footer, but of course the focus is the page number. So if I go to, I'm going to put mine at the bottom of the page, and I want it in the center also. So I'm going to do plain number 2. And suddenly I have this very, very nice page number down here. All right. And it's inserted. Things are looking real good. Okay, now that we got our header and our footer inserted, let's make sure we did this right. So if I click on the main body, I'm going to write a real simple sentence. Obviously, we know this is page 1. And I could press enter, 50 times and it's going to go to page 2. Or I could go up here and do what's called insert a page break. And a page break is really just like, it's going to create a page. It means nothing else is going to appear on this page from this point. So obviously my cursor is right here. So from this point on, nothing else is going to appear if I put a page break in. And it instantly sends me to the next page. And as I'm looking at the next page, there's my header. Right? Go down here. Here's my page numbers in the footer. And it says the number 2. So everything is working correctly. Now, once again, with all this stuff, right, we do have options of going up here and clicking different first page. So if I click that, you see how the 1 disappeared, but then if I go to the next page, the 2 is there. So it is counting the right way. And that will be an important feature through different projects that you do for different teachers throughout your lifetime. I'm going to check that back and so I can see that 1 because that's what I want to see in this document from you. All right, so that's the first part of the tutorial. Not a hard part, kind of a review, but making sure that everyone knows how to do that. The second part of the tutorial is going to go through what's known as the shortcuts. We spent a lot of time in Word 2 looking at the Fonts tab up here, looking at how to bold things, italicize, underline, changing font size, different things that really fit into this category. And while going up to this menu is a good option, what makes you more proficient and faster within Microsoft Word is learning the shortcuts so that you don't have to be doing your mouse and moving back and forth and different things like that. And today, once you start getting into surfaces and different things like that, all this touchscreen stuff, some of these things can become really tricky to do because the touchscreen just doesn't always respond the way a mouse does, or even the touchpad can be a little bit trickier because it just doesn't glide, at least in my opinion, as smooth as having a mouse. Now that might just be me loving my mouse, but that's my opinion. However, what I do know is as I learned the shortcut keys, which you're seeing in this table in front of you, or if you have the sheet in front of you, you can see that as you look at these shortcuts, you might think, why would I ever want to know this stuff? You're really going to find out that by learning these and memorizing these and using these, you're going to become really, really fast at using a computer, which can be really nice because these shortcut keys aren't just used just in Microsoft Word, but you can use them in basically any Microsoft program, Excel, PowerPoint, Publisher, and they can be really, really great functions. You can also even add another one in here, right? Because sometimes you have to do this. So you have this shortcut, and what I want you to do then is to scroll down to the next page or flip to the next page of your tutorial, and you have a brief assignment that you're going to do on page 2 of your document. Right? It says, first of all, do not number your list. So even though I numbered it here so you can see all 10 things, I don't want you to number it in your document. And you're going to do exactly what it says. You're going to put your first and last name. You're going to put a nickname that you have given. And if you don't have one, then just make one up for yourself just for this activity. Your parents or your guardians' names, your street address, your home phone number, your classroom number preceded by the word homeroom. That means homeroom goes first, right? And if you don't know our classroom, then next time you enter our room, look above the door and look for the number there, all right? You're going to put your birthday, the current grade that level you're at, so grade 5 of course, 2 of your hobbies, and then 1 sentence explaining why you are taking this class. If you're not really sure why you're taking this class right now, I guess that might be the sentence you have to write. But hopefully you understand why you're taking this class. Now from here, you're going to go ahead and you're going to perform these 10 different activities using these shortcuts. So for example, if I jump to the document, obviously number 1 is putting your name. And so once I do my name, I can sit there and you can see right now, you can see how this changed, right? And my mouse is down here, so there that B is changing back and forth from bold, and I could even go here and start increasing the font. And so you see I'm using the shortcut keys on my keyboard to do things, and now I'm really free to continue typing the different parts of my paragraph, essay, or in this case, this list, right? And so you can work with all these different things to continue working through this lesson, all right? Okay, so obviously you need this sheet in front of you. If you don't have the sheet in front of you, don't be afraid to look it up on Office 365, right? Where you go to your OneDrive and then over on this left side, there's that search and you can search for it. Let me show you what that looks like. All right, so I'm in the OneDrive, right? I'm under my documents. I go over here to the search bar and I just type Word A, and oh, it's coming up on mine, but remember if you can't find it on yours, you just click search everything and it'll take you to a page that looks something like this, and here it is right here, and you can click it and there it is right there in front of you to be able to understand all these different directions that you need to follow. When you're done with this, you're just gonna hand it right back into Office 365, and that's the end of Word A. Work hard, pursue excellence.